यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी देवो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद श्रीलेसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। देवो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, Chapter titled The Advent of Lord Krishna, Introduction. Text 45, 46 and 47. I'll read text 45 and 46. And text 47 we can repeat. Text 45. Esha tavanuja bala kripana putrikopama hantam narhasi kalyanim imam tvam dinavatsalah. Translation. As your younger sister, this poor girl Devaki is like your own daughter and deserves to be affectionately maintained. You are merciful and therefore you should not kill her. Indeed, she deserves your affection. Text 46. Shishuka uvacha evam sa samabir bedair bodhyamanopi darunaha nanyavartata kauravya purushadhan anuvrataha. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O best of the Kuru dynasty, Kamsa was fiercely cruel and was actually a follower of the Rakshasas. Therefore, he could be neither pacified nor terrified by the good instructions given by Vasudeva. He did not care about the results of sinful activities either in this life or in the next. Text 47. This has a purport. You can repeat. Nirbandham tasya tam dhyatva vichintya anakadundubihi praptham kalam prativyodum idam tatra anvapadyatha nirbandham tasya tam jnatva vichintya kadundubihi praptam kalam prativyodhum idam tatranvapadyatha nirbandham tasya tam jnatva vichintya kadundubihi praptam kalam prativyodhum idam tatranvapadyatha nirbandham tasya tam jnatva vichintya kadundubihi praptam kalam prativyodhum idam tatranvapadyatha. idam tatranvapadyata dandan tasya kanyatva चिन्त्यानकदुन्दुभिः प्राप्तं कालं प्रतिव्योढुम् इदं तत्रान्वपद्यत निर्बन्धं तस्य संज्ञात्वा विः प्राप्तं कालं प्रतिव्योढुम् इदं तत्रान्वपद्यत माताजी निर्बन्धं तस्य संज्ञात्वा विचिन्त्यानकदुन्दुभिः प्राप्तं कालं प्रतिव्योढुम् idam tatranvapadyatha nirbandham determination to do something tasya of him kamsa tam that determination jnatva understanding vichintya thinking deeply anakadundubihi vasudeva praptam had arrived kalam imminent danger of death prativyodhum to stop him from such activities idam this tatra thereupon anvapadyatha thought of other ways. Translation and purport by His Divinity Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. When Vasudeva saw that Kamsa was determined to kill his sister Devaki, he thought to himself very deeply. Considering the imminent danger of death, he thought of another plan to stop Kamsa. Purport. Although Vasudeva saw the imminent danger that his wife Devaki would be killed, he was convinced of his welfare, because at his birth the demigods had played drums and kettle drums. He therefore attempted another way to save Devaki. चक्षुरुन्मीलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीननाथं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सागणललिता शिवशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे निर्बन्धं तस्य तं ज्ञात्वा विचिन्त्यानकदुन्दुभिः प्राप्तं कालं प्रतिव्योढुम् idam तत्रान्वपद्यत. Translation. When Vasudeva saw that Kamsa was determined to kill his sister Devaki, he thought to himself very deeply. Considering the imminent danger of death, he thought of another plan to stop Kamsa. Hare Krishna. So here we are seeing the advent of Lord Krishna, how Krishna is appearing in this world through Vasudeva. Krishna is yet to take birth, but before the appearance of Krishna, what are the things happened that we are seeing here? So in this particular chapter we see the whole body of instructions that are almost in parallel with Bhagavad Gita. And now Vasudev, after trying all possible ways to protect his dear wife Devaki from the hands of Kamsa, he's now thinking very deeply. Kamsa is a demon, that's why he did not even think that I am going to engage in some activity, a very cruel activity of killing my own sister for some unembodied voice from the sky telling that the eighth son of this sister whom you are carrying will be the cause of your death. He did not think that I'm going to engage myself in a very infamous activity of killing a woman, and that too uh, his own sister, because that's the nature of a demon. But Vasudeva, he was speaking from the practical point of view, and especially he was directly preaching. He was not going around trying to pacify him. He was directly preaching the spiritual instructions which will actually benefit Kamsa. But as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that Anaga, one should be sinless to understand the spiritual instructions. But Kamsa was completely sinful, so he could not accept the good instructions of Vasudeva. Now, after seeing uh, that Kamsa has failed to understand his divine instructions, now he is thinking deeply how I can save my wife. Here it is mentioned that he was very confident that somehow he will be able to save the situation, because he was remembering that how during his appearance in this world the demigods were playing the drums and kettle drums, Anaka and Dundubi. Anaka is also some sort of drum, and Dundubi is also a drum. Sometimes we see in many villages they used to bring a big drum and then beat and then make an announcement, and that such kettle drums can also be played beautifully. So these two drums, Hanaka and Dundubi, these drums were played by the demigods when Vasudeva appeared as the son of Shura. Vasudeva is the son of Shurasena. So when he appeared in this world, the demigods were playing Anaka and Dundubi. So his name was Anaka Dundubi. Here it is particularly mentioned Anaka Dundubi. So that's why we see that he was confident, because he is going to somehow make the situation favorable in protecting his wife. In fact, in many places, Vasudeva is addressed as Anaka Dundubi. In fact, in one place, in the after the appearance of Krishna, it is mentioned that he was seeing Krishna, and there it is also mentioned that the word Vasudeva as Anaka Dundubi means he was also so happy. He also, obviously, when Krishna appeared, the drums and kettle drums all were played by the demigods also. But he himself is Anaka Dundubi. He is also so jubilant in seeing the newborn baby Krishna. This is very important, because when we invite the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the world or to our home, or when we invite the devotees to our home, to the temple, it's like a celebration, not only for us but for the demigods. That's why the demigods were so happy, because Vasudeva is not an ordinary person. They know that this person Vasudeva is going to give a place for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We know that Isavashamidam Sarvam, everything is the place of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the demigods know that Krishna is going to appear in the palace of King Vasudeva. So they were so happy to play the drums, kettle drums, mridangas, Anaka, Tundubi, etc. So the demigods become so happy when a great personality appears in this world. Generally, appearing in the material world is not at all a very auspicious thing. There are so many human beings taking birth in this world. Not just human beings, there are birds, animals, Jalada Navalakshani. Every day, millions and millions of births is taking place. Not only among the human beings, even among the animals, birds, and fishes, and even plants, trees. Every day, so much of seeds are put into the ground, and millions of plants are coming up from the ground. So there is always birth taking place. There are millions and trillions of living entities constantly taking birth, and then the same amount of living entities are also dying. So there is nothing big about in taking birth and uh, going down as in the form of death. But this person Vasudev is a very special person because he is inviting the Supreme Lord to his house. That's why the demigods become so happy, and then they were playing drums and kettle drums. So we can understand that this is a jubilation for the demigods that Krishna is going to appear in this world. And similarly, we should know that even when devotees appear in this material world, that's also yeah, an act of jubilation for the demigods, for the devotees, other devotees also. Because only the devotees in the Supreme Personality of Godhead can bring auspiciousness to this world. There is the possibility of auspiciousness only by the presence of the Lord and the devotees. We see in Shrimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, I think this is King Yudhishthir speaking to Vidura. Vidura is having a whole all India Padayatra, Tirtha, visiting so many different places, and then he comes back to Hastinapur. There, he is so much welcomed by the Pandavas, headed by King Yudhishthira. That time, King Yudhishthira is glorifying Vidura by saying that, what is the verse? Bhaved vidha bhagavata tirti buddha swayambhu tirti kurvanti tirthani swantastena kathavrata. So there, Yudhishthira he is saying that the appearance of the holy person as Vidura in his place has made his place a tirtha. Tirti kurvanti. Kurvanti means it becomes a tirtha. By the appearance of a devotee in a house, that house or that place it becomes a tirtha. Tirti kurvanti tirthani swantastena gata brataha. Because they are always carrying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ultimately, it is the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Either he is directly coming as how he is going to appear to Lord Vasudev, or the devotees who are carrying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Both same. When a devotee is appearing in a house, in a place, it means it is as good as the Supreme Lord. Shakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastrai. That's why the Shastra is saying that when the devotees are equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they are carrying always Svantastena, means Anta means refers to the inside. Devotees are always carrying the Supreme Personality of Godhead inside their heart. So when the devotee appears in a place, that place becomes a tirtha. So tirti kurvanti tirthani swantastena gataprata. So the appearance of a devotee in a house, in a place, it becomes a tirtha. And then the appearance of the Lord in the material world, that becomes a wonderful time for the living entities, because the Lord is going to enact so many pastimes. This is all of so much pleasure for the devotees. So it is all auspicious. So the appearance of devotees and then Krishna is always auspicious. That's why the demigods they become so jubilant when Krishna or the devotees appear in a place. On the contrary, we see in the same literature Srimad Bhagavatam, when the demons appear, how it becomes like. We see that when Vasudeva was born to Shura, then the demigods became so jubilant. They were playing drums, kettle drums, and there was so much of jubilant. And when Krishna appears, also so much of jubilancy is there. But on the contrary, when the demons appear, then Demigods become so morose. That we can see in the example of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. When Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha they were born to Diti, the demigods became so frightened. In fact, these demons were so elevated that the sun and moon they were not dissipating light at all. Completely, there was darkness in the whole universe. That's what Bhagavatam says. These demons are so powerful that the sun and the moon they were not showing their light. Sun and moon are very important because without sun, then practically no activity will happen. There is no possibility of any activity happening in this world without the presence of the sun. Everybody is dependent on the sun. Human beings are dependent on the sun. Without sun, it's difficult. Particularly, one important activity that is not possible without the sun is that we can't see. If the vision is not there, then it's difficult to do any other activity at all. And apart from the vision, we see that the sunlight is very important for the growth of the plants, and these plants are consumed by the human beings as food, and also these plants are consumed by the other animals, and with those animals are engaged by the human beings for so many activities. So practically without the sunlight, there is no activity happening. But when such demons come, as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, there is completely darkness prevalent. So when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha appeared in this world, the whole universe was completely becoming dark. That the demigod they approached Lord Brahma, what's happening, what's going on here. So they were not at all happy seeing the appearance of the demons. Obviously, these are very big demons, so even demigods became affright. But generally, if anything inauspicious persons like the demons or the evil persons take birth, then it's a sort of moroseness for the demigods. Not just Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, we also see that when Ravana was born, or when Duryodhana was born, this was not at all a happy thing for the devotees or the people or the demigods also. In fact, Ravana, the very word Ravana means one who makes others cry. This is the meaning of Ravan, one who makes others cry. And really, demigods were also not at all happy seeing the appearance of Ravana. They were inviting for the Lord to come. And also in the case of Duryodhana also, we see that the same devotees they were not happy after the birth of Duryodhana. When Duryodhana was born to Dhritarashtra, it's mentioned that Vidura he wanted the son to be killed. Duryodhana is not a very grown up person. He's just a child in the mother's lap. But seeing that this son will be the cause of the downfall of the big Kuru dynasty, Vidura was not at all happy. So he was requesting Dhritarashtra to kill this Shishu, this child. You just kill this child. It seems to be like it's an infanticide, that killing an infant. Modern people they may object to all these things, but Vidura he is Trikalanga. He could see that this person will be a very big black spot in the dynasty of Kuru. So you please kill this person, because Vidura he was not happy in the appearance of Duryodhana. He is going to spoil the reputation, the whole reputation. We see that the whole history of Mahabharata happened. It's all because of the illicit activities of Duryodhana. So nobody was happy by the activities of Duryodhana. In fact, the word Duryodhana means one who always causes some bad fortune. This is Duryodhana. So he was always causing bad fortune. But still Dhritarashtra, because of his attachment to Duryodhana's son, he did not want to kill this infant. So we could see that the saintly persons, they are not all happy when a demon is taking birth, when people who are indulging in mischievous activities are taking birth. This is not at all a happy news for us. But on the contrary, when devotees take birth, when Krishna takes birth, it's a source of bliss. The appearance of a demon is always miserable for every living entity, and obviously is not at all pleasing for the demigods also. That's why we see that It's mentioned even in Bhagavatam in the 12th canto, when Kali Yuga was approaching, there was always so many bad omens being seen. There are so many different bad omens because gradually these demons are taking birth in Kali Yuga, or the people with demoniac propensities, with sinful propensities, they are taking birth in Kali Yuga. So naturally, there were all sorts of evil omens seen by King Yudhishthira, that the jackals were howling, then the owl that is also howling. These are all not very auspicious signs. And then the blood, the rain of blood is from coming from the sky. All these things are very inauspicious. But that we see these things, all these inauspicious things are done by the demigods because some sinful persons are taking birth in this world. When a very pious person as Vasudev is taking birth, then the demigods become so happy that they play drums, kettle drums, the apsaras come and dance. There will be showering of flowers from the sky. But on the contrary, when evil persons take place or take their birth in this world, then there will be tumors in this world, earthquake, tsunamis, or all sorts of jackals howling, owls howling, all sorts of inauspicious things. We can see it's all because of the sinful people taking birth in this world. So we should maintain a very saintly atmosphere so that we can invite the devotees to our place. We can invite Krishna to our place. So this is very significant, that how Vasudev is called as Anakadundabi. So our we are devotees of ISKCON society. So in our ISKCON society also we are inviting so many people to take birth in our movement. We want the people from the outside world to join our movement. That is also the main preaching thing that we have taken up by the order of Guru. And also one other thing is that as members of the society, we ourselves want to invite the demigods to take birth in our movement. In fact, our Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj, he often, I don't know, just 1 month before I was hearing few of his lectures, and in a sequence of his lectures, he was always mentioning that during his times in the youths, maybe in the 1970s, devotees were always speaking about how demigods are lining up in queue to take birth in this movement, this Hare Krishna movement. Demigods are just queuing up. They are queuing up in the sky to somehow take birth in this Hare Krishna movement. They just want to join the movement of Lord Chaitanya. So this was the talk. Means they were so fired up that we are in a society in which even the great demigods are so eager to take birth. So by properly enacting devotional service, we can in fact invite the demigods to take birth in this movement. So there are so many householders in this society. So we want such wonderful demigods who can demigods taking birth in the Hare Krishna movement is to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Not that demigods, they want to take birth in this Hare Krishna movement to have more sense gratification. Why would the demigods take birth in this earthly planet, in this Hare Krishna movement, to have sense gratification, which they have, which they have in a very highly advanced and sophisticated way in their own planet, in the heavenly planets. We know that the Swargalokas are so much pervaded with sense gratification, just incomparable. And the level of sense gratification that the people in the earthly planet is enjoying is nowhere near to the enjoyment of the demigods in the higher planets. And definitely somebody having a body in the earthly planet is not so fit for sense gratification as compared to the bodies of the demigods. So demigods, they are so advanced in sense gratification in the heavenly planets with their own body and also with the particular planet, and also the situation, circumstance, everything is so favorable. So why would demigods take birth in this earthly planet in our society to have a sense gratification? No, they are taking birth in this Hare Krishna movement through us just to participate in the movement of Lord Chaitanya, of singing and dancing, chanting the holy names of Krishna, and finally attaining the love of Krishna, which the which the denizens of Swargloka find it difficult to attain. In fact, they can't attain. It's very only by the mercy of pure devotee it is possible, and that's much available in the moment of Lord Chaitanya in the earthly planet. So we should invite such demigods to take birth and then give them an opportunity. Not that we have become big, but then our movement is big. We will not be a very big person to invite a great personality as demigod to give them a chance to attain Lotus feet of Krishna, but this is Prabhupada's movement. Prabhupada is a very big personality, and Prabhupada is very, very high. And demigods are so eager to participate in the movement started by Srila Prabhupada. So we can humbly invite such great personalities and then give them a chance to participate in the movement of Lord Chaitanya. Demigods will be very happy. In fact, the demigods, they are also like the conditioned souls like us. Though they are in a very high position as compared to us, but still they are also conditioned soul like us. They are also eagerly awaiting when they will be able to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So it is a great opportunity for devotees also, that they give birth to wonderful children, and then when such powerful demigods they come and then take birth, definitely they'll also take forward this movement more and more. It's expected when great personalities appear, no, then it's expected that they also take forward this movement of Lord Chaitanya more and more, and it's all possible. It's all possible by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of Krishna. All these things are possible. Yeah, so we, again coming to the point that Vasudev is known as Anakadundavi because of his wonderful act of inviting Krishna to this material world. Krishna says in Gita why he appears in this material world, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glani Bhavati Bharata, that whenever there is a discrepancy in executing the religious principles, dharma, then he comes to this material world. Dharma means that refers to the Bhagavata Dharma. When people are not following Bhagavata Dharma, then Krishna, he comes to this world. Bhagavata Dharma means devotional service to Krishna. When people forget this devotional service to Krishna, then he appears in this world and then teaches Bhagavata Dharma through Bhagavad Gita, and then establishes Bhagavad Dharma through his devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and other great personalities. So whenever these principles of Bhagavad Dharma is tainted by illicit principles or adharmic principles, then Krishna appears. Krishna appears in this world. So similarly, the devotees also. We know that Krishna, he appears in this world every now and then. But we see that more than Krishna, his devotees are always appearing in this world. We see that evam parampara praptam yamradashta viduho. So there is always a big lineage of devotees always arriving in this world to deliver the conditioned souls. So Krishna, through the form of his devotee, he is always available. Though he comes every now and then, but in the form of his devotee, he is always available. He is always preaching the message that he wants to teach the conditioned souls through his devotees. That's why when a devotee appears in this world, that is also a source of bliss for the demigods and also the other people. It's not that when Krishna appears, it's a big celebration, and when a devotee appears, it's not so big celebration. No, when a devotee appears, there is also a big celebration. We see that when Parikshit was born, there was a big celebration by the Pandavas, because they know that he is going to be a very wonderful personality, even in ruling, and also this person is going to be the cause of the holy recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Parikshit was born, this was a big celebration. And even now we see that whenever Srila Prabhupada, he appeared in this world, it's a big celebration now. The appearance of Srila Prabhupada is wonderfully celebrated. In fact, our Guru Maharaj said that how we celebrate the Janmashtami of the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna, similarly we have to celebrate the appearance of Srila Prabhupada also. Not that we want to propagate Krishna, no, we also want to propagate the glories of Srila Prabhupada, that Abhijas, Gushuk Tribhuvana, that we also want to propagate the glories of Srila Prabhupada, because without Prabhupada, without pure devotees of the Lord, then Krishna is not attained. So the appearance of a devotee in this world, that is also considered very holy. We know that the holy dhams, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, it's wonderful. Definitely, every one of us want to go and visit such places. But we see that just because the appearance of, as I said, Vishnu Maharaj is saying that Titi Kurvanti Tirthani, Swantasena Gadabhrataha, that a place becomes holy because of the appearance of a devotee. Who would have ever imagined that somewhere in a country like America, in a city like New York City, the 26th Second Avenue will become a Tirtha? But now we see that this is a place of pilgrimage for the Hindus or our devotees. This 26th Second Avenue in New York City in America is a Tirtha now. It's a holy place. And who would have thought that the Tompkins Square Park will become a holy place? But definitely it is a holy place, and it will be even more. It will become more holy. Definitely all around the world, when the whole world is now becoming devotees, then definitely people will be now interested to go and see the place like Tompkins Square Park also, because that's the place where Srila Prabhupada, he started his big movement. This Hare Krishna movement started from this place, from that New York City. So the appearance of a devotee, that is also very, very important. That is also very important. And that we see here in this particular verse, that how the demigods, they became so happy that they were playing this Anaka and Dundubi. They are so happy that Vasudeva has appeared, because Vasudeva has appeared means for them Krishna is going to appear. That's the thing. That's the indication. When a devotee is appearing, then it means that Krishna is going to appear. Just like Srila Prabhupada has appeared, then the Hare Krishna movement is going to expand. That's the thing, in the form of Krishna. So demigods are very happy. They are very happy that they are inviting. So they are very happy to play. They sing and dance. This is a great act of jubilation for the demigods. So I just stop here. If you have any questions, comments, you can just speak.
And when there is a panic situation, that usually, you, even if there is some positive things around, you may not be able to identify it. Any favorable things also you may not identify. You may panic, and you may. And Vasudeva is such a dhira, steady devotee of the Lord, and then you can see her nirbandham, determination, think of other possibilities by which he convince Kamsa, and also this point of thinking deeply. And then he's able to recollect that he's called as Anaka Dundibi. I'm just thinking like that. Like this is a very amazing quality which devotees have to. When a devotee is very advanced, we can see they could handle any situation. Although the situation may be very unfavorable, but they could bring it very favorably in Krishna's service. The greatest example is Srila Prabhupada. So many difficult, tough situations were there. Srila Prabhupada was so steady. He had a great vision. He could think ahead of the future, and then he could accomplish great tasks. Now that this was another amazing thing. Again, he's devising another plan by which he could convince Kamsa so that he will not get into that act.
Yes, that's true. In fact, he was thinking deeply how is known as Hanakadami. So he was very much confident that he'll be able to save the situation. Then Vasudev, he's a Kshatriya. Kshatriyas are generally taught in this diplomatic behavior, Sama Beda Dhana Danda, how to deal in a situation. But generally, this Sama Beda Dhana Danda, it is not done to a superior. We see that Kamsa is more superior in power, in his physical strength also. So it's difficult. At least he tried this Sama. Somehow he just tried pacifying Kamsa, but that did not work. Then Dhana, definitely what he can offer some post to Kamsa. He is already having the biggest post. He is the king of the Bodha dynasty, so he cannot help, by offering some post or Bheda, dividing something. He is ruling. He's practically he's the king of the whole planet. Of course, not the whole planet, but the major. And he can't punish Kamsa. It's very difficult. Already they're all under punishment of Kamsa. So even such Samabheda Danda he couldn't work out. So now he's thinking deeply. Somehow he's finding some way how I can save my wife. Then later we'll see how he's able to intelligently act and save his wife. Temporarily, he was doing something. He spoke in such a way that he could save the situation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your nice lecture. I have a question regarding, because it's also said in the Vedas that, or Srila Prabhupada is explaining that in Kali Yuga, the demons who were not killed in Kurukshetra, they take birth in the family of Brahmanas. So, as we can see,
What Madhuri?
that the demons who were not killed in Kurukshetra, in Kali Yuga take birth as the sons or daughters of Brahmanas,
Yeah, that is it.
so that they get a chance to rectify themselves and become good, but generally they don't. So, so my question is, like, could that happen also in ISKCON? Because, like, a few years ago, we had this early case where the abused children in the Gurukulas came together and wanted ISKCON to pay 4 billion. Was it 4 billion or $400 million? It would have meant bankruptcy of ISKCON and the end of all the temples. So my question is, could it be also that if devotees don't follow the proper way to matchmaking and Garbhodana samskaras and all these samskaras, could it be that actually also those demons are taking birth in ISKCON?
It's obviously somebody. ISKCON is a pure movement. We don't say that that they take birth in ISKCON superficially, but it appears to be that they are taking place in the society of devotees. Just like the father of Vena, he's a pure devotee of the Lord, but still a demon was born to him. So it's always possible. It's always possible that whenever the religious principles are deviated or whenever they are not followed, then there is appearance of a demonic principle or a demon by person. Then when such a demon appears, then it's going to be a big loss to the society. Yeah, it's always possible. That's why we should, as you said, the way of inviting a devotee to our house is through the process of Garbhodana Samskara. Srila Prabhupada also writes in his purport to the 16th chapter how householders should follow the principles of Garbhodana Samskara. Then by following such Garbhodana Samskara, then we actually invite a saintly person, a demigod, to our house. When such elevated persons come, then naturally it's a glorious act. But when such activities are not there, then as you said, as it is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, this principle of Garbhodana Samskara was not followed by Kashyapa and then and because of that a demon was born. We know that Kashyapa is a very saintly person. but that Garbhana Samskara was not followed in that evening. In fact, the title for that particular chapter is Pregnancy of Diti in the Evening. So, in an inauspicious time, without following the procedure, then it is expected that a demon can take birth. So, for a great personality as Kashyapa, a Brahmana, a demon was born. So, our movement is so great, but then if there is a discrepancy in following the things that Srila Prabhupada has set forth, then there is always possibility that such persons can come and then create havoc also. So we should be very cautious. We should follow the principles.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can hear now. Mm. Yeah, I'm speaking the general principle, but as you said, in Vena, okay, yeah, Maji says that the king Vena was born because of imbibing the qualities of the mother, right? And then the mother is the daughter of death personified, something like that. So naturally, he took the qualities of the mother. So the question is, Madhuri, you are giving a comment? Yes. Mm. Mm. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, that's true. That's why the mind of both the parents is very important during the conception. That's why we follow this Garbhana Samskara is followed so that our mind is in a very proper situation when the conception takes place. And that these Garbhana Samskara will be definitely followed by persons who are really very religious. And then they have a very pure notion of bringing a soul uh, to deliver himself. Not that Garbhana Samskara is done in such a way to bring some demon or what can be done. If at all such things are not followed, then the result that we see, as Bhagavatam says. Yeah.
Regarding Vena's story, it's mentioned in Padma Puran when Vena was born. Uh, he was not demon from the beginning. It's like when he was when he started associating with the follower of Arhata, which is a Jain religion. That time he kind of got carried away with his preaching um, that why he has to worship Vishnu and why he has to follow Vedas. And after that, he started acting like a demon. So, is it not that even if a demon is born in a family of a devotee, when he takes an association of a devotee, he can be turned into a devotee?
Yeah, I'm not sure about what's there in Padma Purana, whatever saw in Prabhupada's book I'm saying. And all our things, we are just speaking general principles. General principle, how demon takes birth, yeah, devotee takes birth. Obviously, there will be always exceptions, and obviously, by the powerful association of a devotee, any demon can change. That is also that we see the case of Mrigari, how he became a wonderful devotee because of Narada's association. Yeah, but general principles, we are speaking about the general principles. Naturally, if Garbhana Samskara is not followed, demon appears from such a Garbha. But we see that by the power position of Krishna consciousness, I do not know many of us or many people in the West who are now pure devotees of the Lord, wonderful devotees of the Lord. Definitely, their parents they would not have followed the Garbhana Samskara, but by the powerful assistance of Srila Prabhupada's book, these books can wonderfully turn a person who is definitely not coming from a uh, womb of saintly nature to become pure Vaishnavas. So that is always possible. But general principles we are saying how we should invite a devotee to our house. Yes. Any verse. Yeah, that we this. Yeah, we see in the story of Ajamil how he was carried away by the association of a prostitute. Though he was born in a Brahmana family, he was following all the principles. He was chanting the names of God, but still, because of bad association, he got spoiled. Both are there. Association is very important. So Maharaj is saying that 50% is the nature of the person, the 50% is the education which he is being taught. Yeah, in the association of persons. Maybe, I don't know. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.